Are we going to keep staring at each other, or are you going to invite me in?
It's just that I wasn't expecting anybody. If you don't mind my asking, what can I do for you?
You need money. I need your investigative skills.
No, I can't be of any help to you. I'm a painter, not a detective. Not anymore. Sorry.
If you'd like to meet me...
Hello, what number can I dial for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you, miss. Can you connect me to the post office, please? I'd like to send a telegram.
Right away, sir. Post telegraph, go ahead, please.
I'd like to send a telegram to New York, please. The addressee is one J. Wells of Pinkerton's National Detective Agency, number 57 Broadway. The message reads, "Need information on woman named Sophia Blake. Stop."
I've made a note of it. It will leave this morning. Done. Hello, what number can I dial for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you, miss. Can you connect me to the Elysee, 1528? I want to speak to Sophia Blake.
Right away, sir. Sophia Blake, who's speaking?
Miss Blake, this is Gus MacPherson. Can we meet? I'd like to clarify a few points with you.
Meet me in an hour at the restaurant Chez Alexandre. We can talk there.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to Chez Alexandre. Can I do anything for you, sir?
A table has been booked under the name of Blake, Sophia Blake. I'm here to meet up with the lady. My name is Gus MacPherson.
This way, please, sir. Miss Blake is waiting for you.
I knew you wouldn't be able to resist for very long, Mr. MacPherson. So are you ready to listen to my offer?
You mentioned an interesting offer. Could you elaborate?
I need you to shed light on a case that is dear to my heart.
think you have understood. All I want to do is paint. Everything else is secondary.
Unfortunately, Mr. MacPherson, I'm in Paris to take advantage of your skills as a private detective.
I no longer undertake investigations, Miss Blake. But since I have no orders for my paintings at the moment, perhaps I can help you. You mentioned money.
I was so hoping you would accept, because you see, I'm a foreigner in Paris, and I need some light shed on a strange case. A murder, Mr. MacPherson. A double murder.
I don't wish to appear self-interested, but can we settle my fee immediately?
This is the first time I've hired a detective. The case may take you a few days. I'll give you 500 straight away and 500 per day of fruitful investigation.
That is a very reasonable offer. I accept.
Money is not enough to thank you, Mr. MacPherson. The service you are doing is invaluable. Thank you.
Could you give me any more details about the case? So far, it all seems rather cloudy.
I don't know where to start. It was a brutal murder, Mr. MacPherson. But for what reason? Here in Paris. My sister. It's my sister Ruby who was murdered. She and her husband Regis were killed. Please find out what really happened.
How did they die? Are you certain they were murdered? Maybe they were victims of some terrible accident.
The Whites were found decapitated in their hotel room, Mr. MacPherson.
Are the police on the case? It may complicate matters if they are. Do you know the name of the inspector who's leading the inquiry?
The officer in charge of the investigation is named Lebrun. But the police are the same in every country, Mr. MacPherson. Whether it's New York or Paris, they're hardly fast. That Inspector Lebrun is no exception to the rule.
To be perfectly honest, I'm reluctant to take on this case. Primarily because a murder means a murderer. This Inspector Lebrun is the better place to arrest a killer.
Mr. MacPherson, if I'm asking you for your help, it's because I have no faith in the police. And that would be so even if I had the entire Quai des Orfèvres at my disposal. The 8th District Police Station, Lebrun especially, is trying to hush up the case so as not to tarnish the good reputation of their area. You understand.
Your sister and her husband were both American. What were they doing in Paris?
I was supposed to meet them in Paris. You know, Mr. MacPherson, visiting Europe was my sister Ruby's childhood dream. When she met Mr. White, Regis, her husband, he made that dream come true. They were so very much in love.
The murder was committed in Paris. Do you know exactly where in Paris?
A hotel in the heart of a chic part of Paris, in the 8th District, the Hotel Orphée. They had been there for a week. They were found dead in their room.
I don't understand. We've never met before. I've never worked for you, neither here nor in New York. Yet here you are asking me to track down your sister's murderer. Why me, Miss Blake?
Your reputation preceded you, Mr. MacPherson. I have friends who know people at the Pinkerton agency in New York. You worked there as a detective and had a few problems. The suspicion surrounding you in that murder case proved to be unfounded, of course.
I think I have all the necessary information to begin. You want me to start right away? Is there anything you have forgotten?
The police did not find any items of value in the room. Yet my sister and her husband traveled surrounded by luxury and family heirlooms. It was an obsession.
Traveling with a lot of money is a risky business. It would be a pity if their murder was put down to theft. Are these family heirlooms valuable?
Ruby's good luck charm. A sort of bust in my family for generations, on my grandmother's side. My sister was always her favorite.
I hope to get results fairly quickly. I'll be in touch with you as soon as my investigations yield any new information. Goodbye, Miss Blake.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to Chez Alexandre. Can I do anything for you, sir?
Your establishment has been recommended to me for its outstanding menu. Can a table be reserved? Near to a fountain, if possible.
How unfortunate. We have no more tables available this evening. Perhaps you would like to come back tomorrow, although we don't open till 7 o'clock tomorrow, sir. Early next week would be the best. I'm so sorry, sir, but, our medieval specialties are very much in demand at the moment. Today's recommended dish is white boar and barley beer, served in the Lutes style. Gee, these suitcases are heavy.
And do not forget, young man, the elevator is still out of order.
Oh, brother!
What can I get you, sir?
I would like to inquire about a couple of friends.
May I help you? What's the name?
White.
Oh, the Whites. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but the Whites are dead. They were found murdered in their room. An awful story.
That cannot be. The Whites? Dead?
Yes. Most unfortunate. Truly awful. Can I offer you a drink?
I'm fine, buddy. I don't need anything. But how did this happen?
They certainly were killed. It was the lady in the room next door who alerted the reception.
Do you have the name of the neighbor?
She's a regular at the hotel. People say she's a little eccentric. Ask at the reception desk of the Orphée. They'll be able to tell you her name.
What about the employees at the Hotel Orphée? Did you know them well?
The staff at the Hotel Orphée and myself do not really hang out together. Malek comes every now and again, but other than him, no, I don't know them.
Be a good guy. Tell me in detail what you saw that night.
I don't know any more than that. I know that Petit, the Hotel Orphée receptionist, was chewing the fat with Inspector Lebrun. He seemed to know quite a lot about the White case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Hotel Orphée. My name is Isidore Petit. What can I do for you?
Good evening. My name is Gus MacPherson. I'm a journalist for the Clairvoyant de Paris. Could I ask you a few questions concerning the death of 2 American tourists? Name of White. That's it. White with a Y, not an I.
Sir, you work for a vulgar little rag. Your newspaper is a hodgepodge of lies and innuendos.
I'm sorry. I'm not employed directly by the Clairvoyant. I'm a freelance reporter.
Those newspapers could not care less about the damage they cause. Such words tarnish the reputation of our establishment. Who will want to rent that room now?
Was it true what they say about the Whites? Were they really just American tourists here on a visit?
That is right. Except that the Whites did not behave as tourists. They arrived on the 8th and, if you will pardon the expression, left feet first on the 12th. In the intervening period, only Mr. White ventured out. And ventured out is something of an overstatement. Mrs. White did not leave the room for the whole stay.
Were the Whites always alone in their room?
The Whites received no visitors during their stay here. They were adamant that they should not be disturbed, which is why I refused to give their number to a man who asked to see them the night before their murder.
A man came to see the Whites on the night they died. Did he introduce himself? Do you know his name?
Some cunning devil that was asking too many questions. Rather like you, actually.
With the description you've given me, I'll be able to draw him myself. I'm something of a painter, too.
You are looking for a description with which you are going to produce a sketch, is that it? Well, I cannot wait to see this. The man was French, Parisian, in fact. No spectacles, no. Small, dark, rather wide eyes beneath large, thick eyebrows. Wide mouth, thin lips, a boxer's nose, solid build, a strapping lad. Typical working-class type. If you want any more information, contact the police directly. I'm afraid that I can do no more for you.
I'm sure the front desk clerk will not like to see me going upstairs alone. Must find a ruse or persuade him to come up with me.
Are you quite sure, Mr. Beauvais, that you have not seen him?
Yes, I'm sure. Go on, Mrs. Elway, go home. We will take care of this, I promise.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Beauvais. You're so kind. The next time I'm at Cézanne, I'll bring you back a nice bottle of red wine. That's a promise. Goodbye, then.
Goodbye. Ah, a little bottle of red. Come on, next. Can I help you?
You're a policeman. My name is Gus MacPherson. I'm an American journalist. I would like to ask you a couple of questions about the Orphée case.
I do not deal with you journalist types.
I understand. It's always intimidating to come up against a journalist. In any case, I'm not supposed to speak to the police either. Shall we make a little exception?
Does your rag have a name?
In fact, I'm a journalist from New York. In Paris, I make my living as a private detective. I find it hard writing in French, you see. But that doesn't mean I do not notice things.
A private dick. I see. Well, you'd better show me your license.
A license? Of course I have a license. It's back home right now. I can go and pick it up if you want to see it that much, but we'll waste a whole lot of time.
Not bad. But you will have to come back. There is no such thing as permits for detectives.
I'm not really a detective. Well, I am whenever I have a contract, but right now I'm on a secret mission. I'm working for the American government.
The American Secret Service? But of course. And I am the Queen of England. Come on, papers, please.
Thing is, back in America, we don't have any papers. It's a small country, you know. Everybody knows everybody else.
Secret agent. Do I look like I was born yesterday?
I have friends in high places in the government. I'll tell them about you, about your efficiency.
Trying to appeal to my soft side. That doesn't work with me. I like facts.
Despite the misunderstandings, I'm convinced we can reach a profitable compromise.
Forget it. It is baking in here, isn't it? You would not happen to have anything to drink, would you? Just one for the road.
Sir?
Give me a bottle of red.
Full of promises and empty-handed, huh?
I do happen to have a little something for you. An amazing bottle of red wine. You cannot say no to that, officer. Don't you feel a little thirsty?
Great! The private eye returns.
Am I right in thinking Inspector Lebrun is in charge of the investigation on the White case? Would it be possible to meet with him? That way we can compare our information.
He is not seeing anybody, just make a statement.
I've got some information on the Orphée murders. Exceptional information.
Fresh info? You are better informed than us, are you?
If you have no objection, I would rather talk about this with Inspector Lebrun alone.
If you want to speak to him, you have to confide in me first, Sonny.
When I read the file, I noticed the name of a certain doctor, Frank Kaufner. What can you tell me about him?
Dr. Kaufner is our expert. Forensic scientist and, above all, psychiatrist. The sort of guy who prefers the company of madmen and corpses to the likes of you and me.
I can understand your uneasiness. I don't like these psychiatrists or any other so-called specialists in human nature. I've had run-ins with them in the past. They think they have the answer to everything.
All these newfangled methods. The Bertillon system, photographs, records, fingerprints, and now psychological profiles. It beats me, all that.
I've read the police report, but I'm sure you can tell me a little more. What are your impressions on the White case?
This case is pretty messy. A foul murder, unclear motive. If Inspector Lebrun needs a hand, he will ask me. For the time being, he is managing on his own like a big boy. That is all I know.
Of course, if Inspector Lebrun is surrounded by guardian angels like you, he can't be making much headway with his investigations.
If he's not making headway in his investigation, it's his own fault. Lebrun is bending over backwards trying to find the mysterious visitor the Whites had that evening, just before the murder. He's not even cross-checking the statements.
Okay, I'll stop insisting. I'll do without police help. Just tell Inspector Lebrun that I came by.
Lebrun needs a detailed description of the suspects. A composite sketch, for example.
Goodbye.
Yeah, right. Goodbye.
Dr. Kaufner's office, please.
It's over there, right at the end of the hall. Make sure you don't get lost.
Come in.
Dr. Frank Kaufner?
What can I do for you, sir?
I'm Gustav MacPherson. I've come here to ask you a few questions about the White case.
Tell me what you want to hear. So, you are investigating the incident at the Hotel Orphée?
What do you do for the police?
I am an associate of the Paris Police Department when needed. As a psychoanalyst and pathologist, I observe, analyze, and advise.
So you are a psychiatrist?
Psychiatrist, psychoanalyst, doctor of the mind, philosopher to some, and of course quack to others. These are the various names accorded to my profession, Mr. MacPherson.
You're a forensic surgeon, too. Much sought after by the police, I see.
I was a doctor during the Great War. I witnessed terrible suffering. How can I help you, Mr. MacPherson?
Are these the first crimes of this nature committed in Paris?
No crime has ever been committed with such passion and hatred, Mr. MacPherson.
What can you tell me about the scene of the crime? The police have released very few details.
The man who committed this murder, and I stress the fact that he is a man, is probably quite overwhelmed at the present time. This crime was committed under the influence of a sudden impulse, without premeditation. His act is now haunting him. He is not himself.
And you think the motive for the murder was theft?
That is what the police say. But does the official version reflect Inspector Lebrun's true opinion? This murder could be the first in a long series of crimes.
What could be the motive of such a crime?
Love, hate, revenge. Those are the three reasons behind so much human bloodshed, Mr. MacPherson.
It's awful.
You are discovering the dark side of Paris, Mr. MacPherson. And do you have a suspect, Mr. MacPherson?
I'm on the same trail as the police, only I am surer of my hunch.
It has been a most pleasant conversation, but unfortunately, I cannot afford you more time, Mr. MacPherson. I hope I have satisfied your curiosity.
Sir?
The police have a suspect. I saw the inspector's report. What do you know about the man who spent the entire evening by the window?
That is certainly true. He was here on the night of the murder.
And he stayed there alone for the whole evening.
Now let me think. I saw him chatting for a while with Mallet.
Who is this Mallet?
Théo Mallet. Works at the Orphée. He's a lout.
Why is he a lowlife?
He likes to bet. And when you do, you have to pay your gambling debts. It's a vicious circle. Mallet is a bona fide con man.
Did you notice whether Mallet gave any money to this man?
No. It's the man who gave the money to Mallet. I remember, it was cash.
Did you see this man with the whites?
I have never seen the whites, under any circumstances. There's no way I would have noticed them with that man.
The whites never came to the cafe.
I would know for sure. A pair of Americans outside the tourist season are pretty conspicuous. But if you want to be sure, check at the Orphée's reception desk. Maybe they would know.
So these two men may have no connection to the whites' murder.
Sorry, but this is your investigation, not mine. I can only tell you the facts, nothing more.
Could you give me a description of this mysterious character?
You could draw him? That's really neat. I'll give you a description right now. He was tall, very tall, heavy, black mustache, square-faced, and dreadful eyes, threatening even. A tough guy.
Until what time did the man stay?
Now let's see if I can remember. He arrived at around 8 p.m., took a seat by the window, and dashed off just before the storm broke, at around 11 p.m.
Did you see what direction he went when he left?
I don't know. You cannot see outside from in here. You'd better check at the Orphée. Petit, the receptionist, will probably know. He was on duty that night.
And do you know where I might find this Malay?
Malay hangs out at the Alambic, a bistro in the 14th district. That is where he gambles away his wages.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sir?
Can you identify this man?
Yes, maybe. Yes, that's him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ah, it is you again.
Thanks to you, I've been able to draw up a portrait of a potential suspect. It's not perfect, but I think that with this, we are onto something. Now all we have to do is show it to the police.
That crafty devil with the mustache. Then he is the culprit.
Just 1 minute, Mr. Petit. I never said this man was guilty. I don't even know his name.
With those killer's eyes, there can be no mistake. Good. Well, if it's all right with you, I have a lot of work to do. Goodbye, sir.
And me who found the studio tiny. Hoping that his break did not...
Here we go again.
And make sure you do not drop it, young man.
Don't worry about it, Mr. Petit.
Oh.
This is really heavy. Talk about starting a new job on the wrong foot.
Ow! Ow!
Just one more step.
Oh!
And there we go. Whew.
It's a good thing I didn't have the Atlantic to cross. Of course the door is locked. And the front desk clerk is hardly likely to open it for me. I must find a way to get in. Of course the door is locked. And the front desk clerk is hardly likely to open it for me. I must find a way to get in. That's not the room I'm interested in. Anyway, the door is locked. Mrs. Loiseau?
Ah, it's the detective. Welcome to my home, Inquisitor. You are the detective, are you not?
Who told you I was a detective, madame?
I am a seer. I simply see things others do not.
If you're clairvoyant, you can tell me what went on in room 507.
The papers and the police are talking about it. But nobody knows the truth. Except me.
What did you tell the police, madam?
Everything I told the police came to pass. Have you read the report? What did they say about it? That I am mad, is that it?
In concrete terms, could you tell me what you really saw that night?
A shadow has been cast upon them. I felt its presence.
Do you believe that evil was in the Whites' room, just like you and I are in here?
The Whites brought evil with them. Evil lurked inside them and devoured them from the inside out, until they were one with it.
This evil, madam, did it know the Whites? No doubt your visions can guide us.
Evil wormed its way into the Whites, slowly, relentlessly destroying their being.
Please, be more specific in your ramblings. Describe this evil to me. Tell me what it is like.
Be on your guard. Evil is temptation. It is man's primal sin.
Mrs. Loiseau, I cannot arrest a culprit based on your ravings about evil. Please be more specific.
My words cannot be understood, Mr. MacPherson. They can only be felt. Come back later. I need to rest. You are the detective, are you not?
Did you come into contact with the Whites? While they were alive, of course. If you saw them after that, it's your business.
I was only their next-door neighbor.
A clairvoyant? Really? What luck. So am I.
I can feel the suffering radiating from you.
Have you been the victim of visions, madam? Rather like me? Visions of murder? The Whites' murder.
Young man, your instinct spoke to you. You are an artist, are you not?
I'm also an artist. Perhaps you'd like to buy one of my paintings.
Take this. They say Napoleon brought it back from his Egyptian campaign. It represents thought, the Egyptian god of arcane knowledge, the ibis of the Nile. It will help you on your quest. I shall be there to help you find the right path.
Despite the fact you have a reputation of being rather eccentric, did you still get on well with the Whites?
I have never had any ties whatsoever with the Whites, young man. They were appalling people. And what is more, they were cursed by evil.
Respect their memory, Mrs. Loiseau. The Whites surely were not as unpleasant as all that. You did not really know them.
When they arrived, I began to notice a change in the vibrations. Their souls were dark and disturbed long before their death.
Seeing how you kept an eye on the Whites, you can surely give me information on their comings and goings.
Mr. White did go out several times, always in the dead of night, and always without his wife. Where did he go? Only the devil knows. I only saw them together on that last night, the night of their death.
Apart from your constant attention, nobody met up with the Whites.
Nobody visited the Whites, young man. No one except death.
Oddballs, were they not?
That is one way of putting it, yes. You are the detective, are you not?
Do you recognize this man? Don't be afraid, it's just a portrait. It can't do you any harm.
There is a resemblance, but I do not feel evil in him.
You cannot identify my suspect.
It is all so confusing. I saw the man so quickly, and he was so terrifying.
You really think criminals have a certain type of face?
All I do is share my visions. I am afraid that if you're looking for anything more practical, it is the police you want to see, not me.
Hey, cutie. We've not seen you in ages.
Berenice, what a surprise. Look, I'm in a bit of a hurry. Do you know a certain Théo Mallet?
No. But surely the owner does. You're lucky he's in right now. Your gnome knows everyone you know.
You're as charming as ever. Thank you, Berenice.
Call me Bébé like everybody else. Right, I've got to run too, cutie. You know, work. See you soon, okay?
Yes, anyway, you know my address. Come up and see me sometime. Ciao.
Ciao!
found that fresco a little melancholic.
Come on, let's see that hot hand of yours.
Queen and her 3 sisters.
Oh no, are you doing it on purpose or what? 3 of a kind. You beat my 3 aces. Right, I've had it. I'm off.
Ah, Hulot, you're not going now, are you? Not when I was about to relieve you of your car?
Don't start, Mallet. Do not think that you can get away with things just because you have settled your bar tab. Why, it is MacPherson. Hey, MacPherson, come over here.
MacPherson? Who is that?
Another American in Paris who is broke. Let me introduce you. MacPherson, let me introduce Theo Mallet.
Hi.
Right, I will leave you two. I have work to do.
Hi.
I get the feeling I've seen you before somewhere. Have you ever been to New York? Oh, no, Mac. I'm so absent-minded sometimes. That jacket, the Orphée. You're a doorman at the Orphée.
If you are interested in the suit, I will give you a good deal. As far as I'm concerned, it is ancient history.
I bet you know all the hotel's comings and goings, its little secrets, its clientele.
You are looking for an informer who can fill you in on what is going on at the Orphée, right?
A few days ago, something happened at the Orphée. Something truly awful. As you probably know, an American couple was found dead there. Murdered. I'm reliably informed you were on duty that night. You even had a drink in the cafe next door, the Nantes, with someone suspicious. Maybe even the murderer himself. Does that mean anything to you?
Find someone else. Frankly, I have nothing to say.
I have something to show you. Do you recognize this man? That's all very well, but how am I going to find that man now? He'll never come back to the Alambic.
I knew the Yanks were strange, but to talk to yourself out loud, and in French to boot?
Some are stranger than others.
See you soon.
MacPherson? Here again? You've got back your tit for life.
Hulot, you remember the guy who ran off the other night when I wanted to talk to him? Had you ever seen him in the Alambic before? That man is dangerous, Hulot. He's the prime suspect in this nasty murder business.
Should I know him? No. I do not know who it is. But he did not seem too keen on meeting you.
This time, Hulot, I think Mallet really has done something shady. Has he been back since that night?
MacPherson, you are wasting your time with Mallet. He has not been in the Alambic since... Anyway, I already told you he's a stand-up kind of guy. He paid me what he owed, and that is all I care about.
Unless I'm very much mistaken, Hulot, you were the last person to see Mallet before he disappeared the other night. You don't just run off like that for no reason. Believe me, Mallet has got something serious on his conscience. Maybe he's mixed up in this murder.
I will not say another word about Mallet, but I am sure of one thing. He is not a killer.
But that doesn't explain why Mallet ran off. There must be some reason. It can't be me, or he'd have run away as soon as I arrived.
MacPherson, leave Mallet alone. I saw his face when he ran out the back door. It was not guilt that made him run away. It was fear.
I don't mean to go on, but it was very strange of Mallet to run off like that. It really sets you thinking. In fact, I'm thinking about talking to the police about him. Him and his circle of friends.
The guy who ran off seemed much more guilty. Maybe it has something to do with politics. He had a foreign look about him, this chap with his mustache. Try finding him.
What do you know about my investigation, Albert?
Strangely, no one has said a word. Nobody cares, except your client, I imagine. The press has hardly mentioned it. Even the police have not really investigated with much conviction.
This murder has not hit the headlines. But you must know a bit more about it than you're letting on, Hulot. American tourists killed in their hotel room without so much as a clue? No papers, nothing? Have you got any leads?
All that I know comes from the papers, and that's all I want to know. As far as I am concerned, the matter is closed. Basta così.
Hulot, I have a small problem. There's this lock I've mislaid the key to. Would you know of a way I could open it without damaging anything?
That and a few sticks of dynamite should set you up for that bank job, right? Seriously, Mac, why would I be carrying all that stuff? Do I look like a hardware store?
Come on, Hulot, don't be shy. Everyone knows that if somebody needs something, you're the man to ask. We've got contacts all over the place.
A little job. Do not worry, it is nothing risky. I know you are good at this kind of thing. This painting is a reproduction, and here is the real thing. Do you notice any differences?
I won't bother you any longer, Hulot. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, MacPherson. Be careful. MacPherson? Here again? You've got back your taste for life.
So there's the job done, quick as you like. Take your paintings back, Hulot. I've finished. Better check in case I've missed out any details. I won't bother you any longer, Hulot. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, MacPherson. Be careful.
Great! The private eye returns.
I have some fabulous new information on the Orphée case. A portrait of the killer. Here, look.
My God, I do not believe it. Let me warn Inspector Lebrun immediately.
Do you recognize him? Wait, do you know who he is? You.
Elouin? Jacques Elouin? It's impossible.
Elouin. The name rings a bell. If only I could see that vision again. Control that vision. If only...
The inspector would like to see you immediately.
Come in, dear sir, come in. Mr. MacPherson, I presume, would be private detective? I have no time to waste with snoops. What do you know about the White case?
I don't have time to waste either, Inspector. I've got some news on the White case.
I'm listening, MacPherson. Go on, fire away.
I have a portrait of a suspect. A suspect who may very well be the guilty party.
Where is this portrait from, MacPherson?
What difference does it make where this portrait came from? I just want to know if this man has a record, if he's a known criminal.
Mr. MacPherson, you did not answer. The drawing, where is it from?
Inspector, I'm sure your time is valuable. Why not just tell me who the man is in this portrait?
People like you who step out of line, MacPherson, I lock him up. That was a short spell in the clink sound, huh?
The Slammer. No thanks, not on your life. I drew this portrait based on the descriptions of witnesses. He's the mysterious visitor.
And where did you find the witnesses, MacPherson?
You know as well as I do, Inspector, that just by being there, the police can scare off even the most talkative of witnesses.
What are you insinuating, MacPherson? That I do not know how to do my job? Is that it? There is just one problem, huh? You are interfering with our investigation, MacPherson.
Count yourself lucky. that I am here to shed some light on this investigation for you.
MacPherson, I've wasted enough time with your insinuations. I've had enough of your cynical attitude. Now beat it!
Great! The private eye returns.
Beauvais, I know you recognize the man in the sketch. Who is it?
No, I do not believe it. It is my friend Eloin, Jacques Eloin. We were in the squad together. He's a detective in the 11th now. His mother is not going to like this. Shit. It's not possible. No. Something is not right.
It's an engagement ring. How romantic. The engraving inside says, "To Faye with love." Who's Faye? Whew. Smells like ether, only stronger. And my head is spinning. Looks like black hair dye. Obviously. What else did I expect? Looks like there's nobody in there. I need to find a way to take a look around. Double locked. With a safe like this, it's hopeless without a key. A letter of appointment. Signed Grégoire d'Alpin.
But who are you? What do you want?
Gus MacPherson, private detective. And who are you, madame?
Hortense Holloway, Jacques' mother. And now, do you mind telling me what you're doing here?
I have an appointment with Holloway. The door was open, so I came in.
The door was not open. You broke in. Couldn't you have knocked at my door like a normal person? I would have told you he was not here.
Sorry about the door. Now that I think of it, it was kind of tough. If your son is not here, I'm sure you know where he can be found.
Hiding? I swear he's not here. Why would he hide? I've not seen him for several days. I have no idea where he is.
You're lying, Madame Holloway. Tell me where I can find your son. I mean him no harm. On the contrary, I need to talk to him.
You do not want to harm him. Can I trust you? Please understand, Holloway has not done anything. He's afraid, that's all. He's not hiding, but he needs help. My son is up there. Follow me. He's upstairs. Just go on up.
Right. Jacques Holloway, I'm arresting you for the murder of Regis and Ruby White.
I'm innocent. I may have led the murderer to the Eatons, but I did not kill him.
The Eatons? What are you talking about?
It's a long story, but this is what happened. It was after a rather tiresome case. The story of adultery that ended badly. The husband had hired me because his wife has supposedly run off with the money. She told quite another story, of course. I will spare you the details. I came home shattered. During my absence, a certain De Alpin had come by about some employees who had swindled him. I knew that De Alpin was a banker and that there would be plenty of money in it, but I was dead on my feet. So I told my mother to call him back and tell him to get lost. That's when she showed me the check. So, off I went again.
Those dirty kids, they roll around in the mud all day. And who scrubs? Old Muggins here. Who are you? Can't you see I'm not here? If it's for the poor, I gave at the office.
I think there's a spot there. Careful. Otherwise, you might as well start all over again.
Now look here, you're not the one down here scrubbing the floor on all fours. What exactly do you want?
Are you done, Cinderella? You're blocking my way.
What is it now? Some of us have work to do. And nobody goes up the stairs until I have finished. Who are you coming to see anyway?
Lovely day, isn't it? Say, can you give me the Eaton's room number?
The Eatons? What do you want from the Eatons? Are you a friend of theirs? You don't look the sort they would associate with.
Paul and I were in the same regiment during the Great War. We bonded and I was in love with his sister Gracie. So when I heard they were coming to Paris, I just had to surprise them.
It is certainly going to be a surprise. Except you're the one who's going to be on the receiving end. As I understand it, you and your sister... Ha, that's a laugh. His sister, the tramp. She's not his sister, she's his dame. That Mr. Paul really conned you. In any case, your lovebirds have flown the nest.
Wait, you mean Paul and his sister are not in fact brother and sister?
I know how to recognize lovebirds, thank you. Yours were more like two vultures about to devour each other, always tearing each other's hair out. And she was the one who ruled the roost. She was hardly ever around. That Paul used to get in a right state when he was hanging out with the Montparnasse lot.
Montparnasse. You mean people who live in the Montparnasse district, the artist quarter? Paul hung out with artists there. Anywhere in particular?
The Alambic gang? That's where all the layabouts met. Birds of a feather stick together, as they say. These bloody rascals really want to drive me up the wall. I have a floor to scrub, so you with the mustache, clear off or I'll chuck you out on your ear. little rascals. Wait till I catch you. Hey, not my flowers, my beautiful flowers. Wait! They're going to see what I'm made of.
Strange. Yeah. Oh dear, what a mess. Mrs. Evelyn, you've got some cleaning to do. A locked safe. They probably got the key with them. A boat ticket.
Good evening, sir. Are you expected?
My name is Edouard. I've come to see the master of the house. Would you introduce me, please?
Sorry, sir. My master cannot see you.
Right. Are you in charge here? Do you mind, as a pure formality, if I ask you one or two questions? Is this the lodge of the Brotherhood of the Supreme Order of the Rosy Cross?
Sorry, sir. I cannot answer your questions.
I apologize. Your honorable members are naturally not under any suspicion. In fact, I'm seeking information about a young woman, Gracie Eaton. Or maybe you've seen her brother, Paul Eaton, a big, strong fellow. They've been here.
Sir is insistent. It would, however, be preferable if you withdrew.
As the doorman, you're in a position to know all the members of the club. K and GDA are both members, are they not?
All information about our members is confidential, sir. I am sorry.
Come on, buddy. I'm not asking for much, just for you to think back a little. Grégoire de Alpin is a member of your little family, is he not?
Our brotherhood is private, sir. You must leave the premises, otherwise I shall be forced to call the authorities.
You were not announced, sir. I wasn't expecting you. How can I help you?
Hello, Doctor. Jacques Eloin, private detective. Sorry, I'm out of business cards. You'll have to take my word for it. That way we'll both be in the same boat.
A private eye. I am sure you are well aware I am not at liberty to discuss one of my patients. Doctor-patient confidentiality.
That's what's so frustrating about doctors. As soon as you walk in the room, they have guessed the reason for your visit.
My job is to discover intention.
I found your business card at the home of someone who's not so innocent.
I have no control over who has one of my calling cards, Mr. Eloin. The proof? You yourself have one. And yet, I never gave it to you.
You do not happen to have a patient by the name of Gracie Eaton, Dr. Kaufner?
Gracie Eaton? Of course, Mr. Eloin. What do you want to know about Gracie Eaton?
Gracie Eaton is a little crazy, isn't she? You do treat the mentally ill, don't you?
Not all of my patients are ready for a straitjacket, Mr. Eloin. On the contrary, I care for all those with tormented souls. It's called therapy. One could classify Miss Eaton in this category.
Gracie Eaton has a brother, Paul Eaton, doesn't she? What do you know about him?
Paul Eaton. I suspect he engineered the whole thing. He's the one who brought Gracie to my office when she had her first attack. Thereafter, he remained in the background.
You know why I've been hired? And I won't hide the fact that I do not have any hard facts on the theft. Is there anything you can tell me?
You know enough to complete your investigation, Mr. Eloin. Listen, old chap. If you want to know where the Eatons are hiding, you have come to the wrong place. Yes, I introduced Gracie Eaton to the companions. Yes, she knew the Alpin. But as to how intimate they were, that is their business. All I can tell you is that if I knew where she and her brother were, you would not be here. So, do the job you are being paid to do, Mr. Eloin. Find the thieves, and let us get on with the rest. We each have our own role, do we not? Well, if it's not my buddy Eloin, how is business going, Snoop?
So, Mimile, how's it going? Tell me, the police would not have anything on a certain Grégoire de Alpin, would they?
The Alpin is one of the biggest sharks around. A filthy rich banker, an old slightly eccentric Parisian. Have you gotten on his bad side?
Don't you worry. The Alpin's not on my back. He's in my back pocket. Has he reported a theft or anything of the sort in the past few days? Preferably Something that seems to be the cause of mud frustration?
Earth to Eloin! You are dreaming if you think the Alpin would come to me for a simple burglary case. He is tied with the big boss. If anything ever happened to him, it would stay between him, the chief of police, and the crook, who would probably stand a good chance of ending up in the Seine, keeping the fishies company.
It's almost a privilege to investigate for him. Strange that De Alpin did not make use of his contacts to sort out his little problems.
Eloin, I will keep in touch. We are pals after all. Give my regards to your mother.
Does the name Eaton's mean anything to you? A woman and man. Brother and sister? Americans?
Eaton. Eaton. Let me think. No, I have nothing under that name. Are they dangerous?
Don't you worry about me, Emile. With that little greasy Eaton, it's in the bag. But I prefer to check out the company I wish to keep before involving myself. Get my drift?
Eloin, you must be the only bloke in Paris who uses police records to pick up girls. Listen, if I hear anything about a young single criminal, I'll let you know.
Goodbye, Emile. See you later.
That's right. Let honest folk work.
And the time he dressed up as an angel, and he did not have a string on his bow. Berenice.
Oh, sorry. Jacques Eloin. Perhaps you could help me.
Why not? Would you like a drink? Come on, don't be silly. I'm a modern girl. Come, have a seat. You've never been here. I would remember your face. I'm curious to know what brings you here.
Berenice. Pretty name. Your knight in shining armor left you alone in such a place. That's hardly wise.
I'm old enough to look after myself, but thanks for the thought.
Today must be my lucky day. In my job, I usually deal with punks, not cute dolls like you. I'm a detective. Do you happen to know a certain Paul Eaton?
The American? Paul Eaton? Yes, I know him. He's been filling our heads with his stories for the past month. He and the owner are mates.
Interesting story about Eaton. Is he on to something big? Did he give you any details? Mind you, with guys like him, you never know what to believe.
I'm fond of you, Snoop. You know how to go about things. I'm going to help you. Paul Eaton was in Paris for a contract. A scam that would make him rich. His wife was his accomplice. Then he got the jitters. He's hiding now. Hulot, the owner, definitely knows more. You'll have to see him about that. Only thing is, he's not too fond of private snoops.
Well, that's a shame. I was really hoping to find him there. To be honest, I went to his place before coming to the Alambic and, like magic, they disappeared. You might be able to help me.
We do not really know what Eaton is doing in Paris. In the beginning, he said he was with his sister, a student. After a few binges, his sister had become his wife, and they were both onto the scam of the century.
What about Paul? Does he come here often? You know, if he starts bugging you, it would give me more reasons to nail him.
You know, Jacques, that Eaton smells like trouble. One day, he turns up from God knows where with his little British accent. After a few drink sessions with Hulot, the owner, he loses his accent. After that, he shows up here practically every day, more American than ever. Then wham! No more news.
Berenice, do you believe this bank heist story? Eaton must surely have been planning something. He could not have just given up like a complete idiot. It must be a diversion. It smacks of a wild goose chase.
Charming and smart, that PI. Only he has it wrong. It was not the banker's money the Eatons were after. It was a treasure he had hidden in his place. The woman took care of seducing him. Paul was there to pick the fruit when it was ripe. He was completely manipulated, that poor Paul.
Charming. Berenice, I can feel that, like me, you're dying to know where Paul Eaton and his wife are. What was Paul planning to do after his job? Any ideas?
The owner Hulot knows a thing or two. Paul only spoke English and he never mentioned any names. He could not have known much. It's not because you drink like a fish that you know more. It was his other half who pulled the strings.
The owner, Hulot, is also your friend. Would you be kind enough to introduce us?
The owner's not here. He's just driven off. Actually, I think he had a rendezvous with Eaton.
Damn it, this is too much. I'm always one step behind. This time, I'll catch them before they slip away again.
It is simple, Jacques. The owner went dashing off. He mentioned a restaurant, getting back late. How would I know?
Ah, restaurant. How fitting. I was planning on inviting you. But a restaurant in Paris is like looking for a needle in the haystack. Any idea which one?
And why would I know? Eaton talked about going out to a chic restaurant with his wife, but he did not even know which one. It was Hulot who scribbled down the address before leaving.
That's all you know, is it? In any case, someone as charming as you is always beyond suspicion.
Ciao, Snoop. Good luck.
Look, a notepad. The first page seems to have been ripped out in a hurry.
Hulot is implicated in this affair? But how?
Who knows? He's a fence, is he not?
I brought you a little snack.
Thank you. I'll just put it there. We'll help ourselves. Okay, where was I? Oh, yes, the restaurant.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to Chez Alexandre. Do you have a reservation?
Jacques Eloin, private detective. I'm looking for 2 crooks. Can you tell me if you have any clients by the name of Eaton? Be discreet. They're dangerous.
I do not see any reservation under that name. Maybe they have reserved a table in another establishment.
Oh, come on, try a little. Another guy may have joined them. A certain Hulot.
You should have said so. Of course I remember them. They had quite a scene during the meal, arguing no stop. In the end, a man turned up, and they all left in a car. But you're mistaken about the name. It was White, not Eaton. Of that, I'm sure.
I'm a private detective, hired by Grégoire de Alpin. I have to find them, and quickly. I'm fed up of chasing after them. Any idea what it could be? Got an address?
Sure, this is not my job to spy on people. It would seem to be yours, though. All that matters to me is that they enjoyed their meal and paid their bill. Actually, they put it on their account at the Hotel Orphée. A French gentleman joined them, and they chatted for a while before leaving together. I do not know where they went. I hope this is of some help to you, because you seem to be completely lost.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Hotel Orphée. How may I help you?
White. I've come to see the Whites. Which room might I find them in?
We do not give out such information, sir. Not without the prior agreement of our clients.
Come on, pal. Be a sport. I can pay.
Sir, you shall obtain nothing from me with money.
I'll give you the goods on the Whites. And you'll tell me if they stayed at the Orphée. Deal?
I have no interest in prying into the Whites' lives. Hotel Orphée's guests have a right to privacy, sir.
Ha, I had you going there for a minute. The Whites really are guests at your hotel.
Why? I never. I strongly advise you to leave this establishment before I call the authorities.
Hey, and while we're at it, any chance I can get their room number as well?
That is enough. I refuse to talk to you any further.
You're not the first guard dog I have encountered, but you're certainly the toughest. I'll let you think about it. Do not worry, though. I'll be back soon.
It is better that way, sir.
Okay, what do I do now? Now what?
If you want any leads about the Whites, wait for me at the Nazi. I will give you some.
This case is really beginning to get on my nerves.
What can I get you, son?
A bottle, please.
That will be 5 francs, sir.
All right. Thanks, and good day.
You're welcome, sir.
Sit down. What do you want with the Whites?
You look like someone who might be able to slip me some info about the Whites.
We will see. How much will you pay?
That's what I like. Helpful men like you. But careful. You'll not get your dough until I have checked out the info.
I know how much info is worth even to a private dick that is flat broke. Not that it will take a lot to make me happy. You do not become rich by being a hotel doorman.
The White. Do you know who I'm talking about? Well, they're a couple. What's Mrs. White like? Is she hot?
Yes. A tall guy and a beautiful dame, both of them Americans. They're definitely a couple. Slept in the same bed, bathed in the same tub.
Ha! Never a dull moment, those Whites. Always leading the good life. That being said, I do not envy them. Cash can go to your head sometimes.
You can tell right away the Whites are not very classy people. No manners. They think they can get away with murder.
How long have they been at the hotel?
They've only been in the hotel for 3 days. Since they never leave their room, it does not take much to figure out what they are up to in there. No, they have never set foot here before.
Have the Whites had any visitors since their arrival?
Solitary types. If you ask me, they are not tourists. They hardly ever came out of their hole. They put everything on the hotel bill. Meals, clothes, alcohol. The room has been booked for a good month. The man went out a couple of times at night.
Will you give me their room number? I'm gonna pay them a little visit.
Room 507, but you are out of luck. They're not there. Must have kissed and made up. The dame has dyed her hair red. Look, I've got other things to do, you know. It's not like your money is going to a life of leisure. You ought to hire a private eye.
Mr. de Alba, your birds have returned. Even so, I would like to take a quick look. Room 507. Just a quick look. That's when I saw the most amazing thing in my life. I do not know if it was the smoke that blurred my vision, but one thing is for sure. That creature was not trying to keep them warm. And the damn creature saw me. I have fought in the war, you know, but I've never seen the likes of that. When its eyes stared at me, I ran. Yes, I fled like a little kid. There must have been something in the air because I fainted right after that. I came around later, near the Alambic. That's where you saw me. Mom? Is that you?
Ah, no. Jacques Alouin. I'm arresting you for the double murder of the Whites.
Believe me, I'm not the culprit. Speak to my mother. She'll give you the proof.
Well, thank you for your help.
What?
Yes, I had you followed, and you led us straight to the culprit.
No. Something is off. I've been tricked like a sucker. But by who?
What number can I dial for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you, miss. Can you connect me to the Élysée, 1528? I want to speak to Sophia Blake.
Right away, sir. Sophia Blake, who's speaking?
Miss Blake, this is Gus MacPherson. Can we meet? I'd like to clarify a few points with you.
Meet me in an hour at the restaurant Chez Alexandre. We can talk there.
If you want to see me, Mr. MacPherson, I imagine it's because you've made some headway.
Actually, several new occurrences have come to light. Occurrences that require an explanation from you, Miss Blake.
I don't understand, Mr. MacPherson. What do you mean?
What I have learned totally contradicts what you said about the Whites. Who were they really?
Ruby White was my younger sister, and Regis White was her husband. I already told you, Mr. MacPherson.
There is one small detail in all this that you failed to mention. The head of Baphomet. Does that mean anything to you, Miss Blake?
I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. MacPherson. Should I?
I'm sorry, Miss Blake, but I cannot continue working under these conditions.
Don't leave me alone, Mr. MacPherson. My life's in danger. I'm sorry I tricked you. I am going to tell you everything about the danger that we're in. What do you want to know?
Ruby and Regis White never existed. Not as you described them anyway. Who were they really?
I don't have a sister, Mr. MacPherson. Ruby White's real name was Faye Johnson, and Jerome Johnson was her real husband. I hired them, a terrible mistake on my part, but I'm not responsible for their death.
What were they doing in Paris? I want the truth, Miss Blake.
They were supposed to retrieve the object that was stolen from me. Everything was planned in minute detail. They failed. Their death is a regrettable accident.
Why so many identities?
They were professional con artists, Mr. MacPherson. As soon as they occupied their room at the Hotel Orphée, they became the Whites, a rich couple on vacation. It was also the signal that they had pulled it off. I was supposed to take delivery of the merchandise. Unfortunately, they were killed in the meantime.
Who, in your opinion, killed the Whites?
The Whites were criminals, Mr. MacPherson. They made a foolish mistake. They're dead. Aside from their own carelessness, it can only be because of the man who is behind all of this, Grégoire de Alpin.
Do you think the killer will strike again?
He would do anything to achieve his aim, Mr. MacPherson. Everyone who has crossed his path is in danger. The man is insane. He'll kill again. You must understand that you are the only one who can stop him. We have to put an end to this madness. The object must be found before other heads roll.
Go and tell the police what you have told me. Inspector Lebrun will be glad to help you. He'll understand, I'm sure.
You still haven't understood. The police do not want a part of this. De Alpin has the Paris police in his pocket, Mr. MacPherson. Paris is just a puppet on his string.
Then you recognize the existence of this man, Grégoire d'Alpin. Who is he really?
A madman, blinded by an obsession to possess a supposedly valuable relic. The head of Baphomet. By stealing it, he destroyed my life. De Alpin led my husband to his death, my family to ruin.
In the course of my investigations, I was told about a much coveted object. The head of Baphomet. Does that mean anything to you?
The object has been in my husband's family for generations, Mr. MacPherson. I didn't lie to you. Grégoire de Alpin stole it from us. My husband, already weak from his illness, died of sorrow. I now want to retrieve what is rightfully mine and avenge the memory of the man I loved.
What exactly is the importance of this object, this head of Baphomet? And why is de Alpin so anxious to get hold of it?
I don't really know. My husband was very secretive about the value of the head of Baphomet. As for me, I simply want to retrieve what is rightfully mine. But de Alpin and his lot venerate the relic, surrounded with many legends. Legends of immortality. As you grow old, these legends suddenly become a source of hope, a source of life and death.
That is a tragic story, Miss Blake. Why didn't you tell me the truth from the outset?
I was alone in Paris, confronted by a fearless enemy. I had to act quickly and discreetly. If you had refused to help me, Mr. MacPherson, I would have had no one else. I didn't want to be dishonest with you.
I agreed to work for you. I'll see the job through.
You see, we can reach an agreement, Mr. MacPherson.
Mac, you disappear for ages, then turn up without warning. You must be after something.
Berenice, you're my little green fairy. With everything we've been through together, I know you'll always be here for me. You're the only person in Paris I can trust. So...
Still the same sense of humor. I see the Parisian air inspires you.
No, seriously. You're really the only person I can trust. I have one or two questions that I need you to answer.
Mac, you know full well I would not refuse you anything. Ask, I'll find you the answer.
Baby, those beautiful eyes of yours surely saw a beautiful stranger. Especially an American. Do you remember a guy at the Alambic going by the name of Paul Eaton?
It's funny you mention it. Another detective came and asked me the same thing a few days ago. Good-looking bloke, that P.I. Nice mustache. Yes, I remember Eaton. He was hanging out with the Alambic crowd last month.
Berenice, I think I'd better warn you. This Paul Eaton is mixed up in some dirty business. I just hope the boss, Albert, did not trust Eaton too much.
Paul and old man Hulot? Of course they know each other. They even got really chummy.
Berenice, it is vital you tell me everything you know about Paul Eaton. And I warn you, everything he has told you is probably lies. I think his name is also a fake.
He was not very chatty, Polly boy. I must say, he did not speak French very well. All I got was that he was in Paris with his sister, who I never saw. He hinted once or twice that they were onto something big, loads of cash, easy work. You know, Mac, now that I think of it, Paul Eaton was definitely the dodgy type.
Have you seen anything of Paul Eaton since?
No point getting all jealous, Mac. You're the only American in my heart. I've not seen Eaton here again. And as for Albert, the owner, I have no idea. I suspect Paul pulled off the scam of the century and fled to Borneo.
Hulot, the boss? Is he there? Maybe he noticed some things that you missed, baby. You know, you might have been too busy staring at that tall, dark American to notice anything peculiar about him.
Albert is not here. I was supposed to meet him here this morning, but he's not come by today.
You know, Mac, Albert Hulot has not changed. He's as weird as ever. If I see him, I will tell him you're looking for him.
Berenice, do you remember the other night before you came round to my place? I had some complications. That guy who got away from me. Well, I caught up with him, but I need to know if you have seen him here before. Holloway. Jacques Holloway.
Yes, well, I think it was the same. He came asking questions a few days ago. I don't know.
Berenice, I'm just asking you to be careful. This business is complicated and more dangerous than it seems. Anyway, I'm off. See you soon.
Ciao, Mac. Take care.
If I can be of any assistance, sir?
Yes,
Visitors are not admitted, sir. Would you kindly leave?
You are mistaken. I'm not just any old visitor. I've come to make inquiries. Inquiries about the occult.
Visitors are not admitted, sir. Would you kindly leave?
The knowledge stored here would be impossible to find anywhere else. Even the Sorbonne is but a pale shadow of your great learning.
Our library contains knowledge and secrets that cannot even be found at the Sorbonne. The Brotherhood of the Supreme Order of the Rosy Cross are the most erudite people in the Western world.
Does your sealed-off library include books on magic, Kabbalah, divination, tarot, lost civilizations, Mu, Hyperborea, Atlantis, the Holy Grail, and alchemy?
Sir, one must not joke with the occult arts. Alchemy, the great work.
Alchemy, the magic whose practice led to the downfall of the Knights Templar.
You have an overactive imagination, sir. The Templars were knights in the service of God. All the historians agree. They never used magic, witchcraft, or alchemy. They were disbanded by a king who was in debt. He envied them their power. Come on, sir, do not go believing everything you are told.
You do acknowledge that the Knights Templar truly existed. I'm quite prepared to discount the rumors of magic and alchemy. But what of the last of their mysterious treasures? The head of Baphomet.
The head of Baphomet? Sir, you have no idea of the forces at work. It would be better if you stayed out of all this.
I shall not let myself be intimidated by your thinly veiled threats. A good many people in Paris are prepared to kill for this object, whether real or legendary. We do not want any more innocent people losing their lives. I will do my utmost to ensure that they do not.
I am not going to weep for these innocent victims. That's what happens when you start poking around.
You seem to know a little too much, Dumoulin. Be careful with your threats. I'm not here to bother you. I already have a suspect for these crimes. But from what you have told me, I could easily have you charged with being an accessory. At the very worst, you might be sent to the nut house.
What would the police do, eh? What would it gain? They will have to wait a long time for an order from the police chief. Leave before things get worse for you.
Mac, I'm gonna start thinking you can't do without me. Did I forget something at your place?
Bebe, I need a small favor. I have to infiltrate the Brotherhood, and I need a fake letter of introduction. Can you write me one using this letter?
No problem. Come by later, your letter will be ready.
Sir?
The man you identified is called Holloway. Jacques Holloway. Can you confirm your statement?
Holloway? That's a funny name. And a private eye to boot. Now, I'm surprised. Quite a turnaround, isn't it? That is definitely why he came in here, no mistake. As for what happened to him afterwards, I have no way of knowing.
You saw him use the phone. Who did he speak to?
Yes, I can confirm that he did try to make a call, but I've no idea who to, especially since he didn't manage to get through.
At what moment did Holloway telephone?
Oh, this was well after Malet's departure. Actually, it was just before he himself left. See, he tried to make a call, then he left immediately afterwards, without a word of thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Hotel Orphée. My name is Isidore Petit. What can I do for you?
When the Whites returned on the night of their death, did you notice if a car dropped them off? A smart car. I don't remember the make.
Who knows? I was here at the desk. Malet was taking care of the door. Actually, he saw to all the doors. He was a doorman. One good reason why all the locks throughout the establishment ought to be changed. Malet is no longer with us, and nobody knows what he has done with the master key. Good. Well, if it's all right with you, I have a lot of work to do. Goodbye, sir.
You are the detective, are you not?
It's not a secret anymore, Mrs. Loiseau. I know who was in the White's room on the night of the murder. I've been told the whole story.
The man that the police suspect is innocent. He is not the source of evil.
According to Holloway, evil is a horned being with eyes the color of rubies.
Nonsense! Evil is shapeless.
And how does evil appear to you, Mrs. Loiseau?
I felt it. That is enough.
You're living in an imaginary world. The police will never believe us with that kind of explanation, Mrs. Loiseau.
In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Look for the source of evil, and you will find the culprit. The police have no need to understand his true nature.
With the arrest of Holloway, this case has taken a different turn, and I'm the only one who can save him from the guillotine. I have to shed light on 2 investigations at the same time.
It is time to decide who you trust, Mr. MacPherson. I'm as eager as you to see the end of this nightmare.
You associate with the Parisian upper crust, Mrs. Loiseau. Can you tell me about Grégoire d'Alpin?
Grégoire de Alpin is an extremely rich banker in Paris, the heir of an old family.
You're telling me stuff that everybody knows, Mrs. Loiseau. Give me something paranormal, something occult.
De Alpin is a powerful man. He works in the shadows, fascinated by the Middle Ages. He is the founder of the Brotherhood of the Supreme Order of the Rosy Cross. Will that be enough, Mr. MacPherson?
But where can I meet this character so important, this Grégoire d'Alpin?
He lives in a townhouse in the Marais, but I would be very surprised if he received you. Otherwise, you can always try the Brotherhood. But you would have to be sponsored by one of the members. It is no use going to his bank. It is only open to his own hand-picked customers. It is not a common or garden high street bank.
None of this rhetoric will get us anywhere, Mrs. Loiseau. I have to act. If I need any advice from you, I'll know where to find you.
Our paths will cross again. I'm sure of it.
There's no use. It's locked tight. Here it is, the right key. Pandora's secrets are all mine.
I'm gonna start thinking you can't do without me. Did I forget something at your place?
Bebe, I need the letter of introduction. Is it finished?
Here it is.
Strange front door. An improved version of all the other locks I've come across so far.
Hello, what number can I dial for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you, miss. Can you connect me to the post office, please? I'd like to send a telegram.
Right away, sir. Post a telegraph, go ahead, please.
This is urgent. A telegram for J. Wells, Pinkerton Agency, New York. Take this down. Seek information on a couple. Faye and Jerome Johnson. Stop. Americans. Stop.
I've made a note of it. Finished, sir? Goodbye.
I must get past these alleys. If anyone lays their hands on me, I certainly don't want to find myself in a cell. medical file on a patient with the initials G.E. Gracie Eaton? If she was a patient here, that means Holloway is telling the truth. The egg, symbol of immortality, according to Mrs. Loiseau. Strange, I don't remember Holloway mentioning it. At the heart of the egg, the secret of the soul. A wax cylinder with the cycle of the Phoenix by F. Kaufner written on it. All we need now is a phonograph.
Did I realize how great an impact dealing with this man would have on me, on my career, on my own destiny? His soul has passed from body to body down through the centuries. The cycle of the Phoenix. He is the Phoenix, risen from the ashes. He has confided in me the secret of his power, of his riches, the head of Baphomet. I am very familiar with the myth. The Companion's library featured more than one legend on the subject. Grégoire d'Alpin claims to have been in possession of the head since the Middle Ages. He acquired it on behalf of the Knights Templar and kept it after their dissolution. They dare to call my manifesto a scientific fairy tale. They think they're the leading experts in psychoanalysis. Vienna. I will prove my theory to them. I will prove that Grégoire d'Alpin is immortal. Slowly but surely, My role in the Alpin's existence has grown in importance. Using hypnosis, I have managed to impose my will upon him, all the while espousing his ambitions. I shall be his successor as the head of the companions. His power, his riches, the Baphomet, it will all be mine. I shall be his heir. The time has come. This evening, the Alpin wishes to see me at his manor. Gracie Eaton, his Adeline, will be there. Tonight, I shall become the greatest. Neither Vienna nor the Alpin can stop me now. The old fool is convinced that I'm ready to receive his soul. Ready to receive his riches, more like. And the influence that comes with them. Then Vienna shall pay for its insolence.
gonna start thinking you can't do without me. Did I forget something at your place?
Baby, I need a small favor. I have to infiltrate the Brotherhood, and I need a fake letter of introduction. Can you write me one using these documents?
Again? Right. Come and see me later. Your letter will be ready. Mac, I'm gonna start thinking you can't do without me. Did I forget something at your place?
Baby, I need the letter of introduction. Is it finished?
Here it is.
I see. The orders rooms are at your disposal.
These books are in Greek, Latin, other languages people no longer speak, myself included. A real alchemy kit. All these flasks contain powders. What on earth does he do with them all?
But he couldn't stop me from joining the Templars. I have to try to cleanse myself of their sin of the flesh. Because of him and my mother, my soul may already be condemned to hell. Only the balm of the Templars' faith can rid it of the mortal sin engraved upon it. On October 9th, Saint-Denis Day, I finally discovered the traces of the head. Blessed by Saint-Denis, he who smiles down on me in all his beatitude to help me leave my soul. Yes, Saint-Denis is smiling on me. The head purifies me. As God is my witness, I, Simon le Bel, in this year of our Lord, 1305, shall enter the body of Pierre le Bel de Clemency tomorrow, June 24th, and shall retrieve what is mine by divine right. In this new body, purified of my soul and of my parents' carnal sin, death will no longer hold any mystery for me. The head of Baphomet has finally revealed all of its secrets. Victory! I would shout this divine miracle from the rooftops if I did not fear the unbelievers and their stake. I am in a new, younger, stronger body, and it is God's will. How else can I explain Adeline's appearance at my bedside? Blessed and cursed. God gave me a new body, but Adeline, my angel, who took care of this new body, is forbidden to me. It would seem she is the daughter of that idiot, Pierre. That's to say, my own daughter at present. I am weary of this existence. What is the point of living for centuries if I can never again glimpse the smile of my beloved Adeline? Ah, Adeline, you who are forbidden to me, will I ever see your sweet face again? I would gladly exchange these solitary centuries to see your face, your eyes, once more. She has returned. She is once more of this world, and so close to me. She visited Kaufner today. It really was her. That excellent doctor of the mind confirmed it. It is her, and this time she will be mine for the rest of my life.
Well, Miss Blake, it would seem you did not tell me everything. Right, that's all I needed. Blake's been abducted and the kidnapper takes himself for a Dialpe. And naturally he wants the head in exchange. As if I knew where it was.
MacPherson. Max, something awful's happened. Hulot is dead. He's been murdered.
My God, Berenice. Why him? Why Hulot? When did this happen? And you, Bebe, are you okay?
The cops discovered his body at sunrise, but he may have been dead for a couple of days. I have no idea. No idea.
It's awful. Hulot was not supposed to die. He could not die. He was the last person to see the whites alive. The police. Did the police tell you how it happened?
I don't know how to describe it. It is so sordid. His head, Mac, his head was cut off. His body was hanging on the front of the car. And his head was sitting on the hood like a figurehead. Worst of all, in his mouth. The police found a coin in his mouth.
Berenice, Hulot is dead. We have to be careful, too. Was it the police who told you? They have a suspect. They're already holding Holloway.
The pigs? They're all the same. The investigation is taking its course, miss. Like hell. Everything I know I got from my contacts.
Berenice, we have to get to the bottom of this before everyone else dies. Do you know who is heading the inquiry?
Inspector Lebrun, always spotless, the perfect bourgeois. They're putting on an act in an attempt to hoodwink us. In fact, Mac, they haven't got anything to go on. Hulot, you, me, Elouin, for them we're all nobodies. It's up to us to unravel this.
Hulot dead, and the soul of the Alambic gone with him. We've all lost a great friend, Berenice. Keep your chin up, baby. Don't let them get you down. They're still the Alambic.
Hulot started from nothing. He worked as a construction worker on the metro before becoming a very important patron of the arts. You know, a big shot.
Hulot never did anything for nothing. If he did you a favor, you knew you would have to pay him back one way or another. He was a man of many resources. Money, tip-offs, favors. He always knew where to get them.
Mac, all of that was Hulot, a real hub of the Parisian art scene. The paint never dried under his feet. There was something to suit everybody's taste.
But Berenice, doing those little favors could have sometimes made crooks out of us. Everyone knew Albert was a fence.
Hulot saw himself as the Robin Hood of the art world. He got money out of the rich for the art of the poor. He may have been a fence, but he had ideas.
Berenice, relationships like that only bring trouble, either with fences or with the police.
Of course, Mac. I worked for Hulot. We all have to live, you know. And sculpture doesn't exactly pay a girl's rent.
You say you've copied works of art for Hulot? Has he commissioned any work recently?
Strangely enough, yes. The day you came to the Alambic, the first time, I gave him a copy of a grotesque bust.
My God. Bernice, the bust. The bust you sculpted for Hulot. Did it look like what you see in the sketch?
It is exactly the same. Hulot asked me to make a copy. I gave it to him the night you came. Mac, I'm scared. What is going on?
It's awful. I have to find this head before there are any more deaths. Even your life is at risk, Berenice. The killer is after this head. Don't you see, Bebe? I have to find out how Hulot got his hands on this accursed object.
I have no idea who gave the head to Hulot. I made a copy, that's all.
I feel as bad as you do, Berenice. Anyone who comes to the Alambic will be grieving. The place will be a shrine to him. Everyone who comes in will be reminded of Albert Hulot. So many stories.
You know how much Hulot loved his entourage. Everybody had a chance. The Alambic was his masterpiece. Take this fresco, for example. You know many artists contributed? Hulot would ask them to paint a bit, sometimes just a brushstroke. Over the years, it became his treasure.
It's true. That fresco is rather special. Did he tell you what it is meant to represent?
He used to sit and stare at the fresco at night. Honestly, Mac, it kept the secrets of his soul.
I'm not sure I've grasped the magnitude of this business. But one thing's for sure. You are not safe, Berenice. Be careful. I'll do everything in my power to put a stop to these crimes. Everything.
Find the killer for me, Mac. I will manage on my own.
Hulot, what was the secret you had hidden right under our noses all the time?
Mac. I don't know what to think anymore, Mac.
Berenice, there it is. You recognize your own handiwork? The heads of Baphomet, exact copies. Not even my expert eye can distinguish between the original and the fake.
Mac, what you see here is my life's work. It is really perfect. It is good work.
I'm not sure I've grasped the magnitude of this business. But one thing's for sure. You are not safe, Berenice. Be careful. I'll do everything in my power to put a stop to these crimes. Everything.
Find the killer for me, Mac. I will manage on my own.
Ah, Mr. MacPherson, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you again. Have you brought me any more culprits?
You've got very little on Holloway, Inspector. Unless you have further evidence, your culprit will soon be a free man, cleared of all suspicion.
I have some solid witnesses, and moreover, a very accurate witness sketch. Thank you.
We've been barking up the wrong tree from the start, Inspector. The Whites never were the Whites.
The Whites were not the Whites? MacPherson, what are you talking about?
The Whites do not exist. I have their passports here. They are American citizens. They did not arrive in Paris a few days ago. They got here over a month ago. You want to know what name they used? Johnson, Inspector.
All right. Let's suppose they were using pseudonyms. Could you tell me why?
Ruby and Regis are not the real names of the Orphée victims. I have in my possession a ring that clearly indicates the woman's name was Faye.
That does not prove anything, MacPherson. What about all the sweet talk, huh? Faye and Ferry. Of course. Why complicate things to my Ferry with love?
A letter. A letter signed Sophia Blake confirms that they were hired to commit a robbery. The letter is addressed to Faye and Jerome Johnson, Inspector.
Thieves? What did they steal then, MacPherson? We did not find anything in their room, and moreover, no one has brought up charges. Explain that.
This is the Whites' modus operandi. They move to Paris under an assumed name, Eaton. They steal an object, the head of Baphomet. Then they seek refuge at the Orphée under a new identity, the Whites. And they make their delivery.
This object, the head of Baphomet, is it valuable?
I'm not sure. I doubt you can put a monetary value on it.
Right. Listen, MacPherson. I will check all this out. If you find anything else, come and see me again.
If you have any doubts about d'Alpin's involvement, I have something that will convince you, Inspector. A glass vial, taken from his home, identical to the one found broken in the White's room.
MacPherson, Grégoire d'Alpin is surely not the only man in the world to own such a vial. It proves nothing.
Stop protecting d'Alpin. He's the only man in Paris who can obtain these vials. The only one capable of putting this gas inside them. The purple gas he uses to put his victims to sleep.
Leave the vial with me. I will have it examined.
Here you are.
Thank you, MacPherson.
Inspector Lebrun, what I have shown you is irrefutable proof of Holloway's innocence. I found the knife used to cut off the victims' heads.
The murder weapon must be a knife of extreme precision, medical precision, with an incredibly sharp blade. Show me what you have, MacPherson.
This is the murder weapon, just as I found it at Grégoire d'Alpin's home.
A Liston knife, used by doctors for amputations. With a single movement, you can remove a limb. Impressive. I will see what we can learn from this. Thank you, Mr. MacPherson.
D'Alpin. D'Alpin is dead. He's been dead for over a week.
What are you talking about? If anything happens to Mr. D'Alpin, I assure you heads will roll.
D'Alpin looks to have died peacefully of old age. Nothing like the other murders. I have a photo here. See for yourself.
Even if Mr. D'Alpin had died of natural causes, it would not prove Holloway's innocence, MacPherson. Quite the contrary.
If D'Alpin has been dead for over a week, he couldn't have hired Holloway to investigate. Do you not see, Inspector? Somebody else hired Holloway.
And I suppose you're going to tell me who this mysterious person is, Mr. MacPherson.
One gold, one brass. One at D'Alpin's, the other at Kaufner's. 2 ancient coins. These prove that both men were involved in the murders.
Everyone has the right to collect ancient coins. Anyway, what has Dr. Kaufner to do with all this?
That is too much. Will you never face up to the facts? You know as well as I do that coins like these were found on all the victims.
How do you know about the coins?
A couple of anonymous sources are enough to keep me abreast.
Beauvais will get an earful about this. Leave the coins with me. They are evidence.
With this, you can start investigating the true motives behind the murders.
Thank you, MacPherson.
Your charge of murder against Holloway just doesn't hold water, Inspector Lebrun. Another man is dead, Hulot. Albert Hulot was killed in the same circumstances as the Whites and Mallet.
In other words, the accomplice is still out there.
But Inspector, Holloway and Hulot never met. He had no motive for killing him.
Holloway had never met the Whites, but he killed them nonetheless. Albert Hulot was probably another embarrassing witness.
I hope these clues will enable us to prove that Holloway is innocent.
I will speak with Holloway, and we shall see. If I understand correctly, the Whites were not the Whites, but the Eatons, who are in fact the Johnsons. A couple of professional con artists hired to retrieve a relic at the Alpins by Sophia Blake. Also your employer, Mr. MacPherson. Yet according to this note, Sophia Blake is currently being held hostage by Mr. D'Alpin. Would it be the same D'Alpin we see dead in these photos? Do you understand anything?
It's just that...
That is to say that you and me are going to have a little chat to set this story straight from the beginning.
Lebrun, aren't you tired of making people believe this story? The evidence is there, on the table.
Sir, I advise you to go back to your paintbrushes and leave the authorities to do their job. Now, if you will excuse us...
May I retrieve my documents?
Consider these documents as facts, Mr. MacPherson. And without facts, there is no proof.
Yes, and there's the proof of my innocence, Lebrun.
We shall see about that, Holloway. We shall see. Mr. MacPherson, goodbye.
Poor Holloway. I did what I could for him. The only thing I've got left now is my conscience. Me, Blake, and my conscience.
Mr. MacPherson, did you know that in Tarot, the hanged man is not put to death, but confronted by his destiny instead? Arriving at his journey's end, he is able to see his life again from a new angle. Sometimes, a man thinks of certain events again and discovers that he was tricked, betrayed.
MacPherson? Help me, Gustav! Don't let him! He's insane!
This painful blow, this moment when our convictions, our beliefs, our passions are shattered. When you discover your life has been nothing but lies, trickery.
MacPherson! Help me down! He'll kill me! He'll kill you! Like he killed all the others! He killed them all! That Kaufner, he killed them!
Judged! All guilty of having tricked me, betrayed me, stolen from me. Just as you did Blake. And just as she tricked and betrayed you too, Mr. MacPherson. The Baphomet is mine. It has been mine for centuries. It is my immortality. Give me back the head, MacPherson, or she will be sentenced before the tribunal of God.
You've lost your mind, Kaufner. You've been exposed. You are the killer. You're a monster.
I am the sole judge of my actions.
But this object has no power, Kaufner. Not this object, not any object. There's never been any such magic. Trying to prove the contrary has made you lose your mind.
Ah! Become my successor, MacPherson. I will initiate you into the power of Baphomet.
The Baphomet has wrecked your life, just as I will in turn wreck the Baphomet. No. You'll get my bill within the next few days. And the police should be turning up any moment.
What happened to Kaufner?
What do you think? The cops carted him off, and he's rotting in jail now.
What some people will do for power.
Yes, some people would do anything for power and money, but not us.
Mr. MacPherson, did you know that in Tarot, the hanged man is not put to death, but confronted by his destiny instead. Arriving at his journey's end, he is able to see his life again from a new angle. Sometimes a man thinks of certain events again and discovers that he was tricked, betrayed.
MacPherson! Help me, Gustav! Don't let him! He's insane!
This painful blow, this moment when our convictions, our beliefs, our passions are shattered. When you discover your life has been nothing but lies, trickery.
MacPherson! Help me down! He'll kill me! He'll kill you! Like he killed all the others! He killed them all! That Kaufner! He killed them!
Judged! All guilty of having tricked me, betrayed me, stolen from me. Just as you did Blake. And just as she tricked and betrayed you too, Mr. MacPherson. The Baphomet is mine. It has been mine for centuries. It is my immortality. Give me back the head, MacPherson, or she will be sentenced before the tribunal of God.
The Alpin. You turned to crime, whereas you had the opportunity to live in peace forever.
Their death is fair payment for their treachery.
Haven't you understood that nothing in all this can wipe out your suffering, your grief, your Adeline?
The memory of Adeline lives on stronger than ever.
How can you believe in the purity of a love, whilst revering an idol such as the Baphomet? You disgust me, D'Alpin. You are unworthy of your Adeline. You are unworthy of any woman. Take back your precious treasure. Cherish it. Right. You have the head now. Let her go.
Blundering idiot! Did you really think I would let you leave with my secret?
That was close.
Yes. I owe you one.
Never mind that. If it was not for you, I would still be rotting away in jail.
Come on. I'll buy you a drink at the Alambic.
It's not like me to turn down such an offer. And there's that cute girl that works there.
Be careful. People are not always what they seem.
Hey! Don't forget me!
No. You'll get my bill within the next few days. And the police should be turning up any moment.
Is Kaufner right? Was he really de Alpin?
What difference would it make? He's dead now. He might have been immortal. He's not any longer.
What some people will do for power.
Yes. There are people who would do anything for power and money. But not us.
Mr. MacPherson, did you know that in Tarot, the hanged man is not put to death, but confronted by his destiny instead? Arriving at his journey's end, he is able to see his life again from a new angle. Sometimes, a man thinks of certain events again and discovers that he was tricked, betrayed.
MacPherson! Help me, Gustav! Don't let him! He's insane!
this painful blow, this moment when our convictions, our beliefs, our passions are shattered. When you discover your life has been nothing but lies, trickery.
MacPherson! Help me down! He'll kill me! He'll kill you! Like he killed all the others! He killed them all! That Kaufner, he killed them!
Judged! All guilty of having tricked me, betrayed me, stolen from me. Just as you did Blake. And just as she tricked and betrayed you too, Mr. MacPherson. The Baphomet is mine. It has been mine for centuries. It is my immortality. Give me back the head, MacPherson, or she will be sentenced before the tribunal of God.
The Alpin. You turned to crime, whereas you had the opportunity to live in peace forever.
Their death is fair payment for their treachery.
Who, the Alpin, will judge you for these crimes you have committed? God or the devil?
I am the sole judge of my actions.
This story shall end at the very moment you lay your hands on your treasure. I have never represented justice. I have merely tried to do my job, both for her and for you, albeit against my will. Take back the head of Baphomet, since you are the one who wants it. Justice will be done. One day, you will pay for it.
Did you really think I would let you leave with my secret? Did you really think he would save you? You were wrong. Mrs. Eloin?
Oh, Gendarme Beauvais. I did not expect to see you here.
I do not know how to tell you this, but I have news about your son.
What's wrong? I can tell that you have news for me, and that it's not good.
Indeed. I would rather tell you in person before the newspapers get hold of it. The execution will take place the day after tomorrow.